It's not every day you can say landlords are disadvantaged and tenants actually have the leverage. That's right, because in today's video, we're gonna break away from the traditional trends of talking about purchase and sale, something I haven't done in a long time on this channel, and actually talk about the rental sector. And this is something I wanted to talk about for a long time. I've made passing mentions to it, but this one really caught me by surprise. And what am I exactly talking about? Well, I can describe it, and I have described it probably in the title, as a landlord's nightmare. And it's the few exceptions in an otherwise more moderate rental market, maybe even leaning towards a landlord-friendly rental market, that you have the conditions on the ground for tenant-friendly situations. And once again, these are the exceptions. Take a look at this. This blew my mind first initially when I took a look at it. I was looking at downtown condos and I came across the bread company Condos, obviously by Brad Lamb, and a development I knew was coming for a while. And I was looking for potential assignment deals or brand new condos that are just occupying, that are a bit distressed. And guess what? I came across 102 units for rent. I mean, this kind of blew my mind when I saw it. I'm not used to seeing 100 anything on this website or any other website, my own system, MLS or condos.ca, realtor.ca, in terms of inventory. That's a lot for one specific building. Namely here, we're talking about 193 McCall and 195 McCall. And right now, these 102 units make up roughly about 266 overall units. And it's by Lamb Development. Land Developments, they're very, very hit or miss. I would probably have to say more miss than hit. They actually have some okay buildings. And I actually like that they use gas. Not a lot of builders nowadays use gas. But, you know, for the most part, at best, if I want to be very charitable, I would say mediocre. But before we go deeper into each individual unit, this is a landlord's nightmare. I made very similar points about the purchase and sale market in recent videos, but now I'm going to make the same point with regards to the rental market. Think about it from a tenant's perspective. You are someone who needs something in that building. And we're going to go through the units in a sec. Whether you should even want something in that building or not is a different point. But you are coming to see something. Maybe you're going to go for a 1, maybe a 1+1. And essentially, you're looking at least 30 units that are competing for your interest. If you're studio tenants, you're looking for maybe 10 to 15 units that are competing for your interests. And this much simultaneous supply at the same time is part and parcel with buildings that are just finishing and just going into occupancy, especially in today's market where people are barely able to close. They thought they would flip this on assignment. They weren't able to flip it on assignment. Half these guys were struggling to even get a mortgage approved to actually close on it. Now they're actually closed on it. Thank God the builder's no longer suing me. Thank God I'm not losing my deposit. And now I have no choice but to either sell it, 7 on market for sale. Of them are trying to bite the bullet and go on market for rent. Now, I always want to be nuanced, right? There's definitely a few of these people, definitely a few of these landlords who are probably in great positions, bought cash, don't have to struggle, not under duress, just another investment, real estate longs, sleeping like babies. So there's obviously a fair portion of those out there, but I see how the sausage is being made. I get people talking to me every day. I am on the ground every day in the resale sector for buyers, for sellers, and for tenants and landlords as well. And I'm seeing really how many landlords are having no choice but to go on market under duress because they just closed on something they can't afford, and now everyone else is doing the same thing in that same building. This is something that happens, by the way, when there is no duress. When a building closes in a hot market, there's a flood of inventory, right? Because a lot of people are just now closing on their property, getting the keys, doing the PDI, and now they want to get the rental income, and a bunch of people do it at the same time. So this is something that happens in moderate to hot markets. Now that it's happening in cold down markets, it's just even worse for sellers, in this case landlord. So simply just pulling up the MLS system, and all we have to do is condo and change the sale to lease, available, go to the city of Toronto, and for street put 193, put 195, and put MC. That should be enough to bring up all 102 results, as you guys can see here. So this is how I verify things I see on Realtor.ca, Condos.ca, House Sigma, Zolo, And oftentimes you'd be surprised, a lot of the stuff, that information there is not as accurate as you would think, and we cannot verify it. So now collapsing it, this is the results, right? These are all the 102 units in list format, ranging from a 3-bedroom, 2-washroom listed at $4,700 a month for rent. A dollar listing, obviously this is a gimmick, it's not actual dollar, but the lowest price one is $1,790 for the studios. You have a really low priced one, unit 1114 for $1,800 a month rental wise, and then you have more studios offered at $1,850, $1,875, and then you really start to see some of the 1-bedrooms crack in at $1,900, another 1-bedroom $1,950. I mean, these people who have studios listed at, for instance, this unit 1107, a studio listed at $2,000. Why would anyone ever come to your studio when there is, well, one bedroom listed for $2,000, another 1-bedroom below that listed for $1,950? Of course, there's parking and locker consideration as well, but I'm just jumping to conclusions because I've seen this a lot of times. Just unfortunately, a lot of people who need to charge that much, they're not going to get it, but they think they will. And for instance, let's just start with the studios. I'm curious to see, like, with this studio that's asking for $2,000 a month, right? Let's take a look at the pictures. If there's any pictures, or is it all renderings? And look at this, right? It's that's just tough. That's just, I have no comments on that besides that's hard. Yeah. And that studio's asking for $2,000. I can tell you $2,000 a month, you can get a much larger studio with much better views, actually magnificent views, I would have to say, in like 197 Yonge, which has some of the best studios, or even the Harbor Street or Harbor Square condos. Those have really good studios. You can get it for around $2,000, $2,100, right? Some of the studios here, for instance, what's this one? Asking for $1,790. Is it that substantially different? Just a different angle. It's not that different, it's just flipped on the other side. I mean, for $1,790, right, this is probably a better deal. For some people, obviously they don't care at all about space, but they're the exception. This is the floor plan. Landlords will be in trouble, especially the higher price ones. When a situation like this occurs, it's really the race to the bottom in terms of how much you're willing to charge, right? Especially if there's qualified tenants out there. And by the way, may I remind you, my contact information is in the description box, and the link to book a call with me is there as well. It is easier than ever to book a call with me, whether you're a buyer, a seller, or in this case, a tenant. Luckily, in recent months, I've been able to expand my team, and we look forward to working with you. Now, let's take a look at some of the 1-bedrooms out of just sheer curiosity here. And the 1-bedrooms are tough as well, right? Like, for instance, this one listed for $2,100 a month. It's only 441 square feet. And the layouts here are absolutely atrocious, I would say. This layout is a little bit more palatable for a studio. For a 1-bedroom, oh my God, it's one of these walk-through bedrooms. You guys know how much I hate walk-through bedrooms. Walk-through, you might as well have a studio, because at least with a studio, where the bed is supposed to go is on the other side of the layout. With a walk-through bedroom such as this one, your bedroom is literally right by the door. I mean, not like, or it's one of those middle of the floor plan layout where the bedroom is like a hallway away from the door or a corridor away from the door. When you swing open the main door, the first thing you see is your bed. And yes, they're advertising the gas cooktop, which is probably one of the only redeeming qualities of this building, which is once again a signature of Lamb. I'm always fair. I like their gas cooktops. And the views are great. Probably have to say great to be very fair. And then let's just, see how the 3-bedrooms. I'm curious what this $4,700 a month unit will look like, 1,000 to 1,200 square feet. I have had to guess, I'll probably say around maybe 1,100 square feet. This has been price changed. Before even looking at it, I wouldn't be surprised if it's nice. And is it nice? Let's take a look. All right, we got the pictures of the outside, just finishing up. And yeah, that's another thing, by the way, sorry to keep jumping on tangents here, but the thing I don't like about the Lamb buildings is oftentimes, first and foremost, they only have 2 elevators, and also their lobbies look like office buildings through and through. Even their elevators, like, I get flashbacks to going to civic centers and office buildings. It's just not aesthetically pleasing. But let's take a look at the unit. $4,700 a month. All right. A little bit more workable. Floor to ceiling windows, proper appliances, I mean, it has to be cleaned, but it will be cleaned. This is a tough look, but it could be scenic as well. At least it's just one of the rooms. It's not the entire floor plan. And then, yeah, you have another bedroom that's completely obstructed. The pictures are not doing a good job explaining the layout here. I wish there was a floor plan, but for $4,700 a month, once again, there is definitely better out there in terms of your money as a tenant. And listen, if you so choose to take advantage of this, you can. There's 102 at the time of recording of this video. I don't know when you're watching it. Maybe by the time you're watching it in 2030, none of us are around. But at the time of recording of this video, there's 102 units for rent. If you so choose to take advantage of that, plenty of material, especially if you're a qualified tenant. There's so much magic that agents such as myself or anyone who's competent can do with that. But do you really want to live in that building? Well, that is a separate question for a separate time. For any buying, selling, leasing inquiries, you already know what to do. Once again, my link is in the bio. Set up a chat. My team and I will be happy to help you. And lastly, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate your support on this channel. Feel free to join the membership just out of the kindness. You don't have to. Helps me put in the production costs for this channel, but a subscription and like will do equally as well. So thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more. Stay safe. Thank you.